What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Diginachi sequence. I am Will Carr here with two of my amazing friends and co-hosts, Crypto Heavy and XRP Sean.
Got something in your throat, Will? What's up, guys? How
Oh
y'all
man,
doing?
trying to make a cool intro for you, bro. Did I
I'm no
not
beat.
sound cool enough?
I'm no beatboxer, but that wasn't it.
On the pod, having the time of the day. It's nighttime now. What do you say?
You might get us canceled.
Oh, we're not even close to getting canceled. Don't test me.
Not yet. Not yet.
We got a wealth of things to talk about today. A lot has happened this past week. Some spicy things, some price action. As the new year gets started off, we're going to talk about silver today. We're going to talk about escrow. We're going to talk about tokenization. We might even touch on Venezuela, the commodities market, and my favorite topic this week of Zach Richter and Jake Claver.
Man,
Where do we start?
Is that where we want to start with this?
Where do we start?
Well, let's start with the Zach and Claver debate. I've been waiting, and I'm glad I wasn't holding my breath because we still haven't heard a real response from Claver about the accusations against him. We all make price predictions, and timing is tough, but I think what's really interesting were the accusations about the shady business practices he was using and has been using with various clients. And I mean, really flat out just being dishonest and lying is what it seems like. And then it seems like he completely admitted to that in, the discovery process through court and through the lawsuit against him. And so, I want to think great of everybody in the community and everybody that is putting out content and teaching us things. I've certainly learned a lot from listening to Claver, but man, Zach laid some things out really clearly, and he and Jake hasn't tried to respond at all.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing for me is like not responding. I mean, the price prediction stuff for me is I don't really take too much, weight on that because so many people do price predictions. And if you go back to people's earlier channels, like, they all say they think it's going to the moon and whatever. And we in the entertainment business of trying to get people's attention. So like seeing these outlandish price predictions sometimes get more views and followers and stuff like that. So I get all of that promotional stuff that they do. He doubled down on it, which was kind of weird to me. Like he should have took the L, but he stayed with it. So like, I get it, man. Your pride and your ego sometimes make you don't want to, admit that you're wrong. But, sometimes when you're wrong, you're just wrong. You just say, hey, man, look, I needed to see a little bit more from X, Y, and Z. Because he did have things that needed to happen in order for us to get that price action. That's what people forget to realize. He did say that. But he doubled down, made bets, and did a lot of other wild things, to bring some attention to his channel and to him. And then when it didn't go through, he did pay his debts, with Scam Detective and whoever else. But, for the people that was following him and buying XRP based off of thinking it's going to go to, $100 or $250 or whatever, like those people were disappointed in the community right now. Everybody is kind of low morale because of how, volatile it's been. He probably broke some people. So like he can admit that he was wrong and kind of apologize to those people that followed him thinking that they was going to be rich by 2026 or whatever the hell you want to say.
Yeah, I think it's a huge thing that as human beings that we have the ability to admit our wrongs. And even on this channel, we had a 7-footer on here that was constantly talking about Jake Claver and constantly just, it's going to be 250 by Christmas. It's going to be 100 by Christmas.
I was thinking 3 figures by Christmas. I was on board. I was totally on board with the.
You went down with the ship too, man. You
man, yeah,
all the way down.
Fortunately, we didn't invest in any of his projects, which is much different than just listening to the forward-facing price predictions, which is what we see as a random X scroller, as somebody who's paying attention just to the random YouTube crypto things that are coming out. We see those huge claims. At some point, you have to be a realist. At some point, you have to understand that, okay, all these things take time. And yeah, I wish that they would be a certain price. And we've all seen the videos that talk about XRP being, $10, $20, $40, $80,000. And as much as I want to jump on the hopium train like that, you just have to realize that these things do take time, and don't take the snake oil. Don't bite that shit, because it is so easy to be trapped in that. I mean, how many of our generations past, really like our fathers and uncles and grandpas, they all bought into silver and they were waiting. And now in 2026, when most of those dudes are old and wrinkly and still holding on to their silver, they're like, "Yes, all right, we did it."
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate for them to wait, but it finally is paying off for a lot of them. And we're, as we speak right now, we're nearly a $76 silver. I mean, gold has kind of remained, we're in the $4,400 range.
It's been
XRP as it sits is about 213. I'll go ahead and mention Ethereum at 3180 and Bitcoin at almost 93, which the market's seeing a slight rise, and everybody had questions with the Venezuela thing coming up. Our chart guy mainly pointed to the fact that the full moon was it, and he was right again. So, I mean, that was 2 nights ago, and that's when we started seeing some more action. But, what do you guys think of the...
Well, I was going to say, just going back to the whole Claver and Jake thing, or Jake and Zach thing, is, everyone can get past price predictions, like especially timing of them. It's like, yeah, we think that, I mean, that's why I've always said on this channel and everywhere, and everyone that I talk to is, sure, maybe I, wanted it to happen by Christmas and thought there was a good chance it would, but I look at XRP as an investment into 2030 and really one to never sell. I mean, if you want to take some profits, for sure. But the thing is to understand is eventually this is how you'll make passive income. These types of assets is how you will earn passive income through decentralized finance. And so that's not the issue. I think the issue is that this guy is selling products, claiming to be earning a certain return, and forging emails, forging text messages, forging different communications with various people, just straight up lying, and then claiming he's going to get certain returns, and then people are not getting those returns. So I think that's the real issue that it comes to with the Jake versus Zach thing that really needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think that, because, we all met Jake, and he a good guy. Like, he a solid dude. And
maybe, I mean, are you a solid person, Duran, if you are forging communication about a business? And
right, what I mean, like, for us on surface level, like, we don't know him personally.
Yeah,
we never did business with him. So, like,
surface level, many people seem great.
Yeah,
he dresses nice.
Yeah, he's got big biceps.
Yeah, he comes off as a good guy. And so, like, when you see this news, it's disappointing, one, because, the person you see in front of you, and you want to trust that everybody has got good intentions, right? Like, we don't, and if you ever been in the XRP, like we all been in the XRP Las Vegas, the energy is so high, the belief is so high. So, like, it's easy if you're a salesman to, like, play off of that, because everybody trusts, like, you family. So it's an easy way. It's a segue into, like, yeah, we family, you rock with me, come join my Discord, and then we're going to set you up for these high yields and blah, 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 and we're going to get a better return on your investment. And there's some whales there. It's just everyday people who looked at the best for everybody. They got sold on Jake. And if he was doing the nefarious things, they got wrecked, or potentially could get wrecked. We don't know if they got wrecked or not, but, like, it's just a lot of shady things that's happening that the community should be aware of. And Zach pretty much kind of rolled it out. And again, like, we don't know all the ins and outs, but court documents is court documents, man. Numbers don't lie. Right. And it's not speculation, it's not allegations. It was court documented and it was finalized, and he admitted to some wrongdoing, regardless of what that was. So.
And without Jake addressing it, if Jake does not address it, you pretty much in the court of public opinion, proven until innocent, guilty, or innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. But in the court of public opinion, if you do not address something like that, 100% guilty.
Yeah, he's officially guilty on X, and they letting him have it.
Yeah, sounds very familiar to a certain individual that rhymes with.
Right.
It does sound a lot like Sailor.
It really does. I mean, he is building that shit up, and he's gonna sink it, and people are gonna lose their asses, including some of our friends, which is really sad. It really is. Again, stressing on diversity and making sure that you're spread out, and there's so many ISO tokens that are out there that will be utilized for something great, and that's really all I'm telling people now is like take a look at the list of ISO tokens. There's definitely some more friendly entry points than XRP.
Well, and focus on various utility, industries as well, like proppy, specifically used for tokenizing real estate, real world assets, Ondo, tokenizing bonds and treasury notes, projects tokenizing stocks, things like that. It's
Overledger, like
it's ISO and specific use case utility.
Yeah.
And I looked up the numbers today. We're still under $30 billion for what has been tokenized right now on any blockchain.
So less than $30 billion for all real world asset tokenization.
Right now. And we are talking about I think the number was 897 trillion in this article that can be tokenized. Now that does not include derivatives and probably a lot of other things.
It's probably mostly just real estate and the stock market.
But we're talking about probably upwards of 3 quadrillion being able to be tokenized on the blockchain. And again, what blockchain are they going to use that has the most utility value? Whether it's any of these ISO tokens, even if any of them get a small 10% of all of that, it means a whole lot. That is life-changing money if you decided to put money into ISO tokens.
Shit, 1% of quadrillions. You know what I mean? Like in some of these market caps for a lot of those tokens, like it'll skyrocket. So you're right. It's a lot of opportunities still left, currently in 2026.
And there was an article published, Smoke Dog, I read it a little earlier, that basically said that they can't put a value on the market cap of cryptocurrencies. They don't know what it's going to do. Now they pose it in more of a scare tactic, like, it may never do that. But at the same time, they can't calculate how much the market cap will possibly be for any of these tokens. So that should tell you that if you have some financial institutions saying that, I mean, it's beyond the moon what this industry can mean for finances. But
that's why people, the people that's already in, we do so much talking about it, because no matter when your entry level is, if you got a long-term horizon, then it can still change your family's future no matter when you get in. It's about just getting in. Because like you said, we don't know what the actual cap for any of these tokens or which one is going to win. We love XRP and we believe in XRP and what it can bring to the table, but we don't know if it's going to be XLM. We don't know if it's going to be HBAR. We don't know what chain is going to be the winner in the end. That's why you got to be diversified. But at the same time, having a little stock in all of them, I don't see why you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like why you wouldn't have at least a little piece of each one of those, knowing that it's a potential that they can go up. So I mean, it's better to put it in your bank account, like your savings account. Like it's not going to earn you shit. You know what it's going to do.
If we were talking about a sheer percentage of what has not been tokenized, we're talking about 99.9+% that has not been tokenized yet.
Crazy.
We are still on the ground level here. It's still a wonderful time to just, if you got a paycheck coming in, 5-10% every paycheck. I know Uphold is rewarding those who are depositing their paychecks into an Uphold account and just holding it there. But a lot of wonderful things are still on the horizon because we're still looking at legislation passing very soon, and that means a whole lot. But when you're talking about, again, diversity, when you look at silver as a whole, I read a post earlier today that said that the massive bull flag has formed for silver. Now the new target is 130 plus. Now the banks are currently running out of liquidity to suppress the price. That's what we're seeing happen. I know, Will, you had mentioned it on a past episode. Like, these are indicators that are showing us, if you're paying attention, that big moves are on the horizon.
Big moves are happening, man. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You speak about silver and some of the largest unmined silver reserves in the world are in Venezuela. So the United States just just took
what?
those.
Say that one more time.
Some of the largest unmined silver mines, so like silver that's still in the ground that have never been touched, is in Venezuela. So I think everyone wants to talk about oil with this Venezuelan thing that the United States just did, but I think silver is a big part of it too. And what I saw is that it is being funded. So the extraction of this is going to be funded by JP Morgan. So JP Morgan Bank is funding this silver mining project in Venezuela through the United States government. And I'm sure that has nothing to do with JP Morgan's massive silver shorts that they're trying to cover. So
I'm sure it has nothing to do with China changing how they're clarifying silver.
China's restricting all silver exports
on the world with silver because they got the biggest holding.
And when you look at the price of silver in Shanghai, it is almost $10 higher than what we see right now in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So they are in the middle of pumping it up. And you bring up a great point, Will, that there's a lot of silver in Venezuela. Now, I don't know if y'all remember Trump talking about Venezuelan oil, how it's gross, it's sludge compared to what we pull up, but it's,
we got the best refineries in the world in Texas and Louisiana, and we can just ship it straight up the Gulf of America from Venezuela to Texas. Just straight up the Gulf of America, we can get all that crude oil and refine them in the best oil refineries in the world. And it brings me to another point. You guys had talked, we talk about diversity and what people are doing and how it's still such a great time to buy into these ISO blockchains for real world assets. I had a friend today message me a thing about Venezuela and their oil and these oil refineries. And right now, the only U.S. company that's licensed to operate in Venezuela is Chevron. And I think that the Trump administration will obviously open that up to more American companies. But right now, Chevron was the only American company working in Venezuela. And so he's asking me, he's basically saying this to me like, need to be buying Chevron stock, right? And I'm like, he's like, should I sell my H-bar for it? I'm like, no. You should be buying more H-bar and not looking at Chevron. Look up CVX. That's the ticker for Chevron. And this is what's so interesting to me, I'm pulling a lot of things, trying to pull a lot of things all together into one point here. But you look at the Chevron chart and it looks like it's a massive top, which to me also indicates, like, I looked at the monthly chart for Chevron, man, it is set to implode. And it just brings us back to the point of how can you honestly be an investor in this day and age in January of 2026, buying anything other than blockchain protocols with real world asset utilization potential? Because you have this asset class that's been so suppressed versus these massive assets in real estate and stocks that we're about to see plummet by 50% or more through a deflationary cycle. Like, I don't think people understand what it means also that for all these new stable coins, we have to have 1-to-1 backing. The stable coins are not fractionally reserved.
Facts.
What that's going to do, and there's so many things that play into this deflationary cycle that we're about to see. But even back in 2020, the reason they shut down small businesses was so they could kill money velocity and inject $8 trillion into the United States economy while slowing the money velocity to the point that it wouldn't create hyperinflation at the time. And what that's doing is setting us up for this deflationary period. And then you add AI and robotics and blockchain and just how efficient everything is going to get. And this new world we're moving into where robots can literally do every physical labor job, every factory job. AI can do almost every desk job. Even most of the creative work anymore can be done by AI. Driverless cars. There's no need for taxi drivers. Like, we're going to have a robot on the airplane unless you're Delta. Flying Delta will be the last ones to hold out. But, unless you're flying with anyone else, you're going to have a robot taking and giving you your Coke and water and coffee on the airplane. Like, jobs are gone. And people think of that as like, oh, it's bad that jobs are gone. Yes, in one way. But another way, it's going to make the world massively more efficient. And that's going to drive costs down of everything. So we're driving costs down of everything. At the same time, people are losing jobs, so they can't buy homes. There's not enough people can't buy them. People can't sell them at the prices they want, so they keep lowering prices. Everything starts to come down. People need liquidity, so the stock market, the most inflated bubble in history, starts to collapse. And at the same time, we have our utility-based blockchains that are exploding, along with things that have real value, such as gold and silver and other precious metals, and these rare earth minerals. I don't think people even talk about that enough. The quantum computing and the technology that we are coming out with that requires these rare earth minerals, like this is the new arms race. Yep. You know, we are entering a new reality and a paradigm shift on so many levels, not just financial. But
we still have to,
someone pull something out of that there.
We still deal with the monster that's trying to manipulate all of that.
Right.
And a way to avoid that is to understand that these railways are being built. What better part than to own part of that railway? Yep. No matter how high, how low these markets go, if you were involved in owning part of that railway, such as any of these blockchains that will move those things on the railway, that's a way to get it. You know, in the gold rush, people don't think about it, but the picks and shovels, those were the ones who made a lot of money. You go find all the gold you want, but here, we'll supply you with the tools to do it. Those people got rich.
Yep.
So here we are participating in owning part of this railway that is the blockchain. And that's part of the secret of life, is just kind of understanding where you can position yourself to be successful, to be stress-free, and being smart enough to understand how things move in this world. And if we are part of this right here, part of this railway, that's how, no matter what the markets do, guess what? They're all going to be tokenized. And they don't care what the price is. They're not worried about XRP being $2 or $2,000. They need it for a split second. That's what we're depending on. These industries bringing in this huge amount of money to move everything that they're worth. And I guess looking at escrow as of today, XRP owns 34.1 billion in escrow. It has come out. Smoke Dog tweeted it. It's been documented multiple times now. XRP that will be retained by Ripple is 25%. So we are only 9 billion away from XRP.
Well, doesn't the Genius Act doesn't the Genius Act require no one to hold more than 20% of total supply?
Well, that 25% is a very vague thing that we don't understand yet. Why are they holding that 25%? Is that already allocated to certain industries? But for the public, there's only 9 billion left that will ever hit the exchanges. And that's huge.
ETFs coming in every day, taking it off the exchanges and retail, and that's before institutions jump in with the Clarity Act. So that's, I mean, like you said, it's like the picks and shovels and land the railroad. I think that those two analogies is what people have to understand. They look at it as technology or cryptocurrency, but really it's the infrastructure that we're talking about. Owning a part of the infrastructure of this new system that's going to be in place. And if at this point, if you just an everyday person, you can't see what's happening with AI and, like Will said, the jobs is losing. If you can't catch that we're moving in a different direction, like the energy in the world is different. You can feel it. And if you can't catch, like, well, something is changing, stop pointing fingers at people, stop blaming people, and look at the opportunity and say, well, what is everybody talking about? What is moving forward in this new system that we're going in? And it's been crypto, it's been blockchain, it's been that conversation. It's all over the news. It's been tons of podcasts talking about it. Friends and family keep hearing us talk about it. And at some point, you got to say, okay, this is an opportunity that I need to at least take a risk on. Because if you don't take the risk now, and then in 10 to 30 years from now, You're going to look back and we're going to be like, this is the biggest wealth transfer in our history, in our time on us on this planet. And you're going to be like, damn, I missed out because I was too scared, or I let the news tell me otherwise, and I didn't pay attention enough. And I was hoping the government was going to give me a CBDC. Like, you're going to own nothing and be happy. And if you stay in the system, if you just play the odds, you're not going to own anything. You're not going to own a house. You're not going to own a car. You're not going to own your property, land, nothing. And so you either make a choice now, or you end up dependent on the government for the rest of your life.
Well, here's a good question. You've got all these precious metals, store value. Who are you going to give those metals to make a percentage on? How can you do that? I'm gonna put up my 100 ounces of silver and expect a return. That's not happening.
Right.
So you have to be smart enough to understand that some of these assets that we can hold on to moving forward, you can put up and you can stake for 6 months at a time, a year at a time, just like the old school CDs that the bank offered. But now you're getting paid back in either the asset you lent or a different asset. But my point is that we can now hold assets that the institutions and the banks will want and will reward you on, much different than the failing dollar.
Oh, yeah. We are in a place where we can be our own bank. You know what I mean? Like, you can be your own bank if you own the right currency, the right blockchain, the right, protocol. Like, you can be your own bank. And I think that when people start realizing that, like, that's a huge difference than depending on the banks to give you a loan. You're the bank. You're loaning out your assets to them because they need it, because these infrastructures are the future. So there's no way around it. It's like they need it and they can't do without it. And we have it already. We have it. So we are in a position of power versus before they owned all the power.
And once legislation is in place for these institutions to feel comfortable with the terms and with us to feel comfortable with the terms,
right.
I mean, that's game on, because now we can loan out these assets for, I'm seeing anywhere from 5 to 8% return. So
it depends on what you're doing. Like, the riskier things like the liquidity pools might even pay a lot more than that. But we can already do this, guys. Midas and Flare Network. The base on ETH. All these platforms, you already can lend and generate yield. So
what's the,
what, Duran?
What's the yield on it?
They vary depending on the different, like if you're doing a liquidity pool or just like straight yield. But on Flare right now, you can stake in a pool FXRP and then staked XRP, which you get from Firelight, and you can put those equally into a pool. So both of those are 1-to-1 XRP and make 5.8%. I'm pretty sure it's 5.89.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I made that up. It's somewhere between 5.5 and 6.
Which is a beautiful thing, because if you put your money into a bank and they say, oh, we'll give you 4%, 4.5% on your savings, we're losing more than that every year in the value of the dollar. Yeah. I love that meme that goes around that shows $100 bill and they say, I invested in this shit coin 10 years ago and I've already lost 50% of the US dollar.
Yep.
And it couldn't be more true. So being smart enough to find these opportunities, and we'll go back to the masses being able to do this. Right now, Will, you've got to dig for those opportunities, but those opportunities will soon be, you'll get emails all the time about them.
It'll be as easy as opening up your Uphold exchange. But what I will say as much as we love Uphold, they take a good percentage because they are already offering staking on certain things. And so if you want to do it through somewhere like that, just know that they're going to take at least like 30% of your profits.
Yeah.
For doing it for you. And but if you want to learn simply how you can earn it all yourself. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be made to be a lot simpler for
And
sure.
it'll get more competitive too. I think Uphold, just because it's a well known and a lot of people don't know how to work Flare yet, but I do believe they'll get a little bit more competition. They may have to get a little bit more competitive because they do take a huge percentage for staking and stuff like that. But they're one of the first too. So like, eventually when the competition comes in, they'll have to get a little bit more competitive, which would be better for us as consumers.
Yeah.
But it's still what they do is show us that it is possible and what could be possible. And I think that's important. So then we know what to look for going forward. Like you said, most people are gonna do it themselves though. So they wouldn't need no code.
Totally.
I mean, it's a brave new world looking at commodities being exchanged 24/7. I have to look at silver and see it halt every day or on a holiday. We have such an open line of communication now that we can check the markets all over the world to see what the prices are. One of the largest price manipulations that ever happened was everybody over here agreeing that the Korean exchanges for XRP were not viable. And they threw it under the bus, and that's where we saw the largest dip in XRP history, because XRP was being traded at such a high volume in Korea. And you have market cap, pretty much everybody that we look at numbers, they were like, oh, it's, that's where the manipulation came from. It's not really 383, it's now $1.19, or it's 40 cents. So we're moving into this world where everything is going to be tokenized, put on the blockchain, traded 24/7. All those nice people on Wall Street will pretty much be out of a job.
Facts.
Because we don't have to sit there and wait. My mom traded commodities in the 90s. And it was like, when you put a trade in, you just got to pray to God that it'll happen that day. And those days are over. You're waiting on some dude on a floor to put a piece of paper in somebody's hand, or it's ridiculous. So that new world we're moving into is an instant deal. I mean, we're going to Hawaii here in a few days, and booking this trip was an absolute nightmare. I think my wife spent nearly 15 hours on the phone because we had pending charges. I mean, we had thousands of dollars tied up because the bank was like, oh, well, we didn't know what was going on. Now it's pending. It's going to take 3 to 5 days to reverse that, even though it's only one click of a button on their end. But we're talking about instant settlement. When something messes up, in 5 seconds, you will get your money back. So now I'm not sitting around waiting and having to call the bank and having to call the airline, having to call the hotel, filing chargebacks. Oh, that'll take 4 to 6 days to get your chargeback. It's like, what is going on? The money's tied up because you guys tied it up. The hotel didn't tie it up. The airlines didn't tie it up. The banks did. And now you have to wait. Like that's not service of any kind. Those days are over. You're going to be able to hop on your exchanges and just be able to buy your flights with whatever token you want to instantly. And if there's some sort of fuck up, you'll get your money back immediately. And these are consumer retail type of problems. These problems go on into the billions daily, if not even higher than that, with these institutions moving money. And if I want to send money down to Brazil, I don't have to have a bank to make sure that money is, the US dollars are there. Those days are over, because we have the ultimate tool that is agnostic to all currencies and is able to switch currencies in a matter of seconds.
And that lies the problem why the banks are fighting it so hard.
Right. They don't get to keep our.
It changes everything. It changes how consumers send money. It makes it easier for us. And why would they ever want to make it easier for us? I mean, it's cheaper, faster, and more secure. But
this is all institutions. If you buy something from somewhere online and it's going to take 5 to 10 days to get your money back.
Right.
Where do you think that money is sitting? I mean, when you have millions of dollars or billions of dollars sitting into an account that is earning, I mean, they're earning 5-6% on their end on that money sitting there. Oh, it's going to take this much time to give it back. That's happening everywhere, and that is just a part of the fractional banking system. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that without a fractional banking system.
You can't. And like you said, they making money on it, and they probably loaned it out. But as soon as you deposit it, they loaned it out and they making even more money on it. So
exactly. So the system has to fail. Fractional banking has to fail because when you put your dollar into a bank and they can now loan out $9 because of it, that doesn't make sense to a 5-year-old. Why should it make sense to people that actually understand? Right. But they didn't teach us anything like that in our high schools. They taught us about savings account and buying CDs and bonds. That's the system that we're going up against.
Because they want to hold the money. They want to hold all the money so they can control it. They'll tell you how much you get back. They'll tell you when you can pull your money out. If you try to pull it out sooner, we'll penalize you even more. Like, we'll tell you how, but it's all going against the inflation of the dollar. So as the dollar depreciates, you losing money and you stuck. You stuck in a 30-year bond, a 10-year bond, a 10-year treasury, a 20-year treasury. Like, you stuck as your money depreciates. Like, it's one of the wildest things that we ever agreed upon. And I get it if with no inflation and the market is moving up, but at the same time, like, it's not, the trend doesn't show that. And in the current time that we live now, it doesn't even make sense at all because you're going to lose money immediately. It's like a 401k. All of those things to me is like a way for you to lose money. They hold your money. They penalize you if you want to take it out and invest it in something else that would make you more money. Like, they'd rather you keep it there for 30 years, 40 years, and then tell you, hey, by the way, we're going to still tax you on this money. And on top of that, you didn't really make as much as you thought you did. So go get another job at Walmart. Yeah. Like, it's a damn scam.
Even when I want to send, if I want to send you guys Venmo, Apple Pay, Cash App, whatever, everything but Zelle, they're taking money, period. Yep. If I were to send you $100 right now and you wanted to put in your bank right now, it would cost you $2 to do so.
Yep. Instant deposit.
Or they'll hold on to it for another 3 days and it'll be there without a fee. But guess what? They're using those 3 days to make that much money on your whatever you're sending.
Yep.
What you got, Will?
Well, I was just going to say, guys, we're going up on 40 minutes. Is there anything else on our list that we want to get to before we celebrate my birthday?
I think we pretty much cover everything I've gotten written down here. Man.
When's your birthday?
My birthday was yesterday.
Shut up. I feel like a terrible friend. I'm so sorry, man. Happy belated birthday, man.
Thanks, That's all right. I've known him way longer and I didn't even send him a text message.
All right.
So happy birthday, Will. How does it feel to be 28?
Thanks, guys. You know, I'll have to wait until that road crosses to tell you.
What are you 34, 5?
35 yesterday.
35.
Wow.
35.
Are you the youngest one on the podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
The youngest and the biggest.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is again.
What you do, man? Did you do anything fun for your birthday?
I went and skied all day at Loveland ski area here in Colorado. So I've got 2 days in so far this year. Obviously the snow, I mean, I guess it's not obvious to anyone that doesn't live here, but to anyone that lives here, it's obvious that the snow in Colorado has been a major buzzkill so far this year. So I'm hoping that we really just get dumped on more so going into the next few months. But it was still fun to be out skiing and, with a bunch of friends and just under a bluebird sunshiny day on the snow. Grilled steaks up on the mountain in the cabin at the ski resort. So, you can't beat it.
Well, I certainly hope I'll be on for next Sunday. We do have it scheduled to go swim with the sharks. No cage.
Nice.
How long are you gonna be in Hawaii?
5 days.
5 days.
5 full days. And that just doesn't fit there.
Yeah, it does.
Just doesn't fit
You're
there.
Swim with sharks for 5 days with no cage. It's hysterical.
Well, my wife bought all these things, and every single one of them comes with for up to 2 people. So, whereas I'm comfortable with a snorkel.
Go, Alec. Woo! Yep. Keep the claws coming.
Why does God keep that shit?
All right. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with diving. I spent a lot of time underwater spearfishing and understanding how the breath works. I just hope the sharks come up to you when you're holding a GoPro. So I'm tasked with that.
You said they do when you have a GoPro?
Yeah, that any electrical device is it sends off tons of frequencies. So they hear that. They're so sensitive to hearing that, and
they want to know what it is.
I've been watching this course of how to not die. So hopefully by this time next week, I'll be on a beach somewhere, and maybe the internet's good enough to be able to do the cast. We'll try it out, but I will be 4 hours behind y'all. So whereas 6 here will be 2 o'clock there, and I'll make it happen.
Sean gonna be lit.
I'll make it happen. I'll see if I can't record some footage of.
That'll work.
I'm about to mute that soundboard from my side.
I was gonna say, if I do this one more time, Sean's for sure not joining us next week.
He gonna take that shit out the goddamn podcast.
Yeah, I'm taking this one piece of agate with me that my good buddy Zach carved out for me. Such a badass gift. But yeah, y'all wish me luck because it's gonna be crazy.
Good luck,
I like that.
But is that it?
I think that's it.
Should probably end it before you use that soundboard again.
I had a great birthday, but I'll just do it with my mouth this time.
Well, it's always a pleasure talking with you guys. Hopefully Phil will be feeling better.
Poor guy.
Just went to the beach for a week and now he's sick. Like, how does that happen? We miss you, Phil.
Too many drinks, Phil. Next time, not so much.
Well, it was good.
Sun poisoning. That's what
good
happens
episode.
To me. I get sunburned and then I get sick.
Good episode. Good stuff. Will, I still got to come over and put some different lights in your studio.
All right.
And then I'm gonna work on getting Duran a legitimate camera, better than Will's.
Hey, one day we're gonna be a real podcast, man. One day.
Hey, man, we're working on it. What do we
have?
A 100
camera, man.
We got 160 subs now.
That's fucking
something
good.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Remember to
and brothers
like and subscribe and all that good stuff. It really does help us with the algorithms of YouTube.
All right, guys.
I love it.
With that said, this is the Diginachi sequence. It's been one heck of a day, and it's going to be an even more incredible next week. So I'm Will Carr and XRP Sean, Crypto Heavy. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, much love, guys.
See you later, man.